Hi everybody, welcome back to another 1 hour Yin Yoga class. For this routine, we will be using props. So I think this video is going to be perfect for those times when you just want to unwind, relax, get some nice deep stretches, and honestly not put that much effort into your practice. You will need some yoga blocks, and you'll also need a strap. So you can use a belt, a rope, a dressing gown belt, anything at all. Okay, maybe not a rope, but any sort of strap that you have, you can use for this routine. And if you have a bolster, I will be using mine. But if you don't have one, don't worry, you can still do this routine, just excluding the bolster, or maybe substituting it for a pillow, a couch cushion, something like that. So we'll get started with Reclined Butterfly Pose. I'm going to set one of my yoga blocks up to prop the bolster onto. And that will be for me to rest my head on. Some people enjoy doing a reclined butterfly with a block or a bolster under their hips, or maybe you can place them under your knees, whatever feels best for you. When you're ready then, lie back down onto the mat and bring the soles of your feet together. The closer you have your feet to your body, the more intense this will feel. So find whatever works for you. And we'll be here for 5 minutes. Once you've settled into the pose, bring some awareness to your breath. You don't have to manipulate it at all. Simply observe yourself breathing in and out. You might notice yourself engaged in thinking, and that is totally normal. Something that I like to remind myself is if I don't think about that for the next hour or a few hours, no catastrophe is going to unfold. It will probably be okay. So maybe you can remind yourself of that now. As thoughts start to come in, just say, I don't need to think about that now. And then come back to focusing on your breath. Observe the sensations you're feeling within your body. We'll be here for about 2 more minutes. We'll ask our knees to come back together. You can do some windshield wipers here, just slowly dropping your knees from side to side. Pause the next time your knees are in center and then peel yourself up off of your props. Now we'll practice saddle pose. So for props here, some people will enjoy sitting up on a yoga block, a cushion, or a bolster. Some people maybe won't, and I'm one of those people. I find that this pose works better when I just sit directly on the mat. So I'm going to keep my bolster and block as they are. We want to sit on the mat or on the block and have your feet either side of your hips, so you're not sitting on your feet for this one. Of course, we want to be very mindful of the knees here. If we're feeling any pain or too much discomfort, it is a sign to back off and come out of the pose. If saddle like this feels too intense, you can always straighten out one of your legs and just do half saddle. And I'll let you know when we're halfway through the hold so you can switch to the opposite side. And you can stay in this version of saddle, but if your body is inviting you to go that bit deeper, you can slowly start to lean back onto your bolster. We'll stay here for 5 minutes. There is an option to bring your arms up over your head if you want to go a bit deeper into the pose. Once again, connect to your breath. Feel the sensations arising within your body. And remember that no catastrophe will unfold if you choose not to think about that thought that keeps coming up. We're halfway through the hold now. If you need to switch to the opposite leg, you can do that. And if not, keep focusing on your breath. Pay attention to the sensations you're feeling. And if it helps, you might think about how would you describe these sensations? Is there a word or a color or even an energy that you could attach to them? Prepare to come out of the pose now, really slowly peeling yourself back up, straightening out your legs again. And when you are eventually back up, you can release that pose with some windshield wipers. For our next pose, we'll be sitting on the mat. As always, you can sit on that bolster or yoga block. We'll be practicing half butterfly pose. And since we are using blocks for this routine, you might, or props I should say, you might have your blocks nearby and you can rest your forehead onto them. So we'll start by extending our right leg out long over to the right, and then bringing the sole of the left foot in towards the right thigh. You can support your left knee with yoga blocks or cushions if needed. Remember to keep your foot slightly active here, so we're not flexing it, we're not totally having it flopped. It's somewhere in the middle, and your leg is also active, and you can keep it active by ever so slightly pressing the bottom of your leg into the ground. And then from here, we'll start to walk the hands away from us, just coming to that first point of resistance. And then you can have your yoga blocks ready to rest your head onto. Once you've found the right configuration for you, we'll stay here for 5 minutes. It's time to slowly come out of the pose. You can bring this right leg back in. Pause in the center for just a few breaths, maybe with your eyes closed. Noticing how your body feels as you transition in between sides. And from here, we'll extend the left leg out long. Remember, the foot stays active. The leg is ever so slightly pressing into the earth. And same thing again, we'll walk the hands away from us and rest the head onto the blocks. Tuning into this side of your body and your breath for the next 5 minutes. It's time to slowly come back up out of the pose. You can remove your blocks to the side for now. And again, we'll just bring this left leg in, find your favorite seated position, and just pause for a few breaths. You can open up your eyes again. The next pose that we'll practice is supported bridge pose. So you can come back down to lie on your back. When you're there, place either one or two of your yoga blocks in underneath your tailbone. Fidget and adjust until you get that Goldilocks position. We'll hold supported bridge for the next 5 minutes. And again, there's an option here to extend your arms past your head if you'd like to go that bit deeper into the pose. You could also experiment with walking your feet away from you. And that's going to help you to get a deeper back stretch. We'll come out of the pose really slowly now. So take your time removing your blocks. And when you are back down, you can just lie in corpse pose, taking up as much space as you need. And we'll just spend a minute here letting your spine just settle back down into that straight position. For our next pose, we're simply going to hug the knees to the chest. So you might like to put your bolster in underneath your hips. You might not prefer that, and that's fine too. Wherever you are, bring your knees to your chest, wrap your arms around your legs. Don't cross your feet or your ankles, just keep them beside each other, and that will help you to get an even stretch into both sides of the body. This is a nice release for your lower back. Also massaging those internal organs. So you can bring your awareness to wherever you're feeling the pose the most. Continue to observe your breath, noticing how much different it feels as a result of this pose. We'll stay here for the next 5 minutes. And for the last 2 minutes here, you might like to come into happy baby by grabbing your shins, ankles, or your feet, and then bring your feet parallel to the ceiling. And if you're happy just hugging your knees to your chest, that's fine too. Continue doing that. And wherever you are, you can release the pose, making your legs long on the mat again. And if you have that bolster underneath your hips, you might shift it down to the back of your knees now. And once again, we'll rest in corpse pose for a minute, feeling the echo of the poses that you've practiced. Now we'll practice supported fish pose, and you can do that by placing 1 or 2 yoga blocks at the back of your upper back. So one block can come to the back of the shoulder blades, and then you may or may not have a second yoga block or a cushion to support your head. So first of all, you can just come back down to lie on your yoga block. And then you can either bring the crown of your head onto the mat. If that feels a bit too intense, you can rest your head onto that second block or onto a cushion. Once you've found the right version of the pose for yourself, try your best to settle into the stillness of it. This pose is really great to open up your chest, your heart, your lungs. So take advantage of that for the next 3 minutes. Now we'll start to peel ourselves out of the pose. Taking your time, there's no rush. And then come back down to lie on the flat back. Our next pose is cat pulling its tail. We'll use the strap for it, and if you're using a bolster, you can either remove it for now or place it underneath your hips. And then take your strap and place it around your right foot. Have your right leg as straight as possible and hold the strap with your right arm, also keeping it straight. And we're just going to stay here for about 2 minutes, opening up through this right hamstring. Left knee can stay bent, or to go a bit deeper, you can straighten out that left leg. From here, take the strap into your left hand and then bring that right foot all the way over to the left side of your mat, keeping the legs somewhat straight-ish, but if it's not, that's okay. And we'll allow the hips to stack on top of each other so your left hip is over your right. Now to come into cat pulling its tail, you can bend your left knee and then reach your right hand down, maybe to find that left foot, and hold the left foot in your right hand. And we want to try to keep both of our shoulders connected to the mat. If you want to go deeper into the pose, you can look over to the right side. We'll stay here for 3 minutes. We'll make our way slowly back to center, releasing your foot from the strap. And then we'll take it to the other side by bringing the left foot into your strap, having your left arm and leg straight, and just savoring this hamstring stretch for 2 minutes. Now take your strap into your right hand and bring your left leg over to the right, allowing your hips to stack so your left hip is over the right. Bend your right knee this time and hold your right foot in your left hand. Both of your shoulders stay connected to the ground, and to go deeper you can look to the left. And don't worry too much about your top leg, how straight it is or where it is. You can just find what works and what feels good for you. It's time to release ourselves from the pose, gradually finding the center again. And if you're using your bolster, you can shift it back down to the back of the knees again. Before we come into corpse pose, if you feel the need to release your hips or your lower back, you could do some windshield wipers or maybe hug your knees to your chest again. But if you are ready to come into your final relaxation, find corpse pose. We'll stay here for the next 5 minutes, and this will allow the body to absorb all the benefits of this practice that you've just done. If you would like a longer relaxation, I do have some 10 to 25-minute guided relaxations and yoga nidras. And I'll leave those linked in the description below if you want to click into them now and spend a bit longer in that deep relaxation. Otherwise, allow your body to completely let go. Relax your jaw, your shoulders, soften your face. Stay here for the next 5 minutes, and then I'll let you know when it's time to come back. If you are ready to come out of corpse pose, you can slowly bring some movement back to your body and then eventually come to sit on your mat again. So thank you so much for joining me for this 1 hour practice. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave the video a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe. I have lots of practices just like this one. And I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, but I have mentioned it on the channel before, that I work as a kindergarten teacher in the mornings, and then I record these videos in the afternoons. So I feel very lucky that on the days when I come home absolutely drained and tired, I'm able to do these really relaxing Yin Yoga classes. And I say that to say that a lot of my content is about relaxing and unwinding, de-stressing, getting nice deep stretches, and just trying to take care of ourselves. So if that's something you feel like you could benefit from or you'd like to do again, then subscribe and check out some of my other videos as well. I will see you on the mat again soon. Until then, though, take care of yourself and goodbye.